Good question, though. All right, let's get this draft started, and then I'll catch up on these questions in a minute. Draft is going, baby. We locked in. We locked in. We locked in. I don't know how this dude got all these good picks. When I sniped everyone he wanted, I literally mirrored it. Damn, this team is rough. Can't stop taking Cup at the value. Those two hammies injuries stop him from getting 1,200. Cooper Kupp's going to be a good value this year. In your home leagues and your work leagues and leagues that aren't like competitive, it'll be a good value. Too running back heavy? Maybe. But it's half-point PPR. It was half-point PPR, not full. This is full PPR, by the way. Got it, guys. Johnny Talk Sports, what's good? Said I got 8th pick, but I'm not showing on the board. Sorry, Brody. Sorry, Texas T. All right, let's make this pick. I'm on the clock. So, best available. This is a interesting one. So, I like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. My favorite player at this spot right here is Saquon, bro. I'm going Saquon. I think Saquon has like the RB1 in his wheelhouse. Are you going to do any more mocks? You guys want to do another one after this? This is going to be a long one, though. 14 teams is always long. Probably not today. We can do another one either. If I'm not on tomorrow, it'll be Monday. Monday, more than likely. I might do a surprise one tomorrow. I might. So, yes, that's how you get in the mock. I got you, Yeet, man. Yes. No spamming needed. Justin, start the draft while you do these deep talks. My bad, y'all. My bad. You know, sometimes I'll be talking sometimes, man. Are you high on Kyler? Yes. At the draft spot, I think he's a good value right now. I think Kyler, he has like top 5 upside, right? So it sucks because you have to talk about the upside when you talk about players, but I would say Josh Allen, Lamar, obviously, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes, you have to throw in there, Anthony Richardson, maybe CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray, Dak, Jordan Love. They all possess top 5 upside. Jaden Daniels, they all possess like top 5 upside. So that's the one thing I say is like upside matters. Ceiling matters. So when you say top 5 upside, it's easy to throw around, but you have to remember that's just a ceiling. So I'm high on Kyler. Kyler has that. Going Gibbs because of the slot work. Gibbs is going to get a lot of receptions. But, I mean, are you expecting 100? What's good, Gabe? What's good, boy? Dynasty Superflex, what moves to make? You got Stroud, Dak, Bryce. I like the quarterbacks. You got Brees, Kyren, ETN, Roshan. Okay. Wide receiver, we got Puka, Pittman, Ayuk, Hollywood, J-Mo. Like your receivers. And then at tight end, you got McBride, Komet. You got the 102. So I'm assuming you're probably looking at what, Caleb or Marvin? If Marvin doesn't go, you got to take Marvin at the 102. And then at running back, man, I think you just got to hope, over the next 2 years that you could find one more running back. Because I think Kyren and ETN both have staying power this year. I'd be concerned about both for next year. But I think you have good staying power this season. Can you still be very good with the squad of players that are good, solid, but get away with a little less ceiling? So I think you answered your own question. You can be a very good team with the squad that has like all solid players. This is a team that like I'm guaranteed to make it to the playoffs, and there's a chance that you win the Super Bowl. Like you can win a fantasy championship with a team with a lower ceiling. But what you will run into is a team that's a buzzsaw that does have a lot of high ceiling players. And if they hit, you're out. Like you have no chance to beat them. So I think you can get away with it. But like if I had to put probability at it, I'd probably say like 25 to 30% chance that you win versus the team that has the higher ceiling. Like I think it'll be consistent. You can go, 10-4 during the regular season, 11-3 during the regular season, be one of the highest scoring teams in the league. But come fantasy playoffs, if that high ceiling team has picked up anybody that has like, a player that, a running back that now was the starter, or they picked up, a player that was injured and they took some risk in and they have that ceiling now, you're going to lose to that team more often than not. I also think when you have a solid team, you're not as flexible, right? If you don't take any players with risk, you never want to drop any of your players. So like you take Hollywood Brown later in your draft as opposed to like, let's say, I'm trying to think of like another high risk, low reward, or high risk, high reward player. Anyway, you take a player that you know you want to roster, it's a little different than like a player you don't mind dropping, if that makes sense. So that's another thing with with taking players that are all safe. You don't give any room to wiggle on your roster, and it makes all your your start and sit decisions really hard. I can't stop drafting Devontae, bro. I can't. So I don't know if that does that answer. Was that a good answer? Is that a decent answer? Is that a decent answer to your question? Let me know. Let me know if I didn't answer that well. Does the tush push take away from Barkley's value? Yes, if they don't use him in the tush push, I think there's a chance they might use him in tush push situations. If they don't, I think he'll still be very good when it comes to receptions and yardage. I would just expect in short yard situations, especially without Jason Kelce there now, they may try something else. I don't know. And maybe I could be wrong. Nobody stopped them on it yet. So that'd be the only thing I'd say. But Saquon is built differently. Like he can almost take those touches away, in my opinion. Like they squat similarly, and you don't want Jalen Hurts getting hurt. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it takes away from his value. I think it limits his ceiling. Put it that way. But we saw what DeAndre Swift did behind that offensive line. We saw what they did behind that offensive line. DeAndre Swift was going crazy. I can only imagine what Saquon's going to do. Saquon was going crazy with no receivers. Everybody knew that he was the target. No quarterback. He was still going crazy. I'm going to email Pat McAfee and tell him they need to have you on their show via video during the NFL season. Love your page. Yo, if you do that, if I get on the Pat McAfee show, Curtis, I'm going to remember that, bruh. Handle that for me. Hey, you get me on the Pat McAfee show, bro. I got to have you on this show. Something. You and the dogs. Pat McAfee, make it happen, bro. We can talk fantasy. We can talk betting. We can talk real. I worked with FanDuel in the past. We can do it, bro. Justin Herbert and George Kittle are undervalued criminally. The one thing I say about Herbert is that it's the same thing. It's a ceiling thing, right? I think he's a safe player. I think he should throw somewhere around 3,500 to 4,000 yards. It's just that the Greg Roman system is not built for fantasy. It's just not. Like Lamar was, because Lamar ran, it was different. But like, unless Justin Herbert decides he's going to run for 500-600 yards, it's not meant for like throwing the football for over 4,000 yards. You want to have a more mobile quarterback to do that. I can see Herbert running a little bit more, but I don't know about criminally undervalued. And then George Kittle is who he is. He's high ceiling, low floor. He's going to get you 20 points one week, 10 points the next, and it'll be Jekyll and Hyde every other week. That's a good point. Okay, good point here. He said they're doing a completely different offense this year. You probably won't see the tush push as much with Kellen Moore, so I wouldn't rely on it too much. You know, we always got to watch out for offensive coordinator changes. And if Kellen Moore does take that play out, I just don't know how they take the play completely out because it works so well. I do have concerns about it, like if they switch it up a little bit. That'd be my concern, but I don't know. That's a good point. I didn't even really think about that. Like, if Kellen Moore just completely takes out the tush push. I did not think about that. All right, JSCS, I got you. JSC, excuse me. I'm glad I got that for you. They're using Barkley for the tush push to save Jalen's knees. Is that a factor, or is that like, because I was speculating that during the offseason, but to me, it seems like that's one of those things that actually could happen. You got Marvin Gaye, man. You good, bro. Let's see. I kind of speculated on that. That's been like one of those things I've thought would happen. Have you guys seen anything about that? Saquon doing the tush push? I have a gut feeling that's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe not. That's one of them things. It's a speculative thing. Hurt said the new offense is 93% new or something. So I think we won't see it unless it's a desperate need, but it really just depends on how successful it is week one. All right. We'll see, man. They do a lot of talking. Kellen Moore, man, I don't know. He is kind of like I'm my own guy. I want to draw my own offense. We'll see. 93%. What's that last 7%? Is that the tush push? How do I get into mock next time? I'm subscribed. Do I need to have monthly $4.99? No. You don't need to have a $4.99 plan. That, to be honest, I might have to start doing something like that in the future because these things they'll fill up really fast during the season. I want people who are subscribed to have access or be members. Right now, we're doing mock drafts probably through at least a good portion of July. The community is going to be open. Everything will be open to everybody. But like once July comes, I can't make no promises this season, man. But you don't have to be subscribed. You got to be subscribed. You don't have to be a monthly member though. You just got to be involved in here and early. I think with Saquon to incorporate more fakes, it's my turn. I do too. All right, so I see a lot of quarterbacks here. Oh, did y'all leave him for me again? Somebody got him already. 14-team league. I think I'm going to go. Got Barkley already. I'm going to grab Mixon here. I feel like my teams all look the exact fucking same. I feel like my teams are all the same. I got to start switching it up. What's a player that was bad last year that you could see potential for a rebound? For me, it would be Quentin Johnston. I like Quentin Johnston too. That was bad last year. I think Drake London was considered. I would consider like, wait, what do you have? Like 900 yards? Maybe he wasn't bad, but I think Drake London will be way better than he was last season. Another player that was bad. Oh, Rashad Bateman. Don't kill me, y'all. Rashad Bateman. I think we got to give Rashad Bateman another chance. I think for sure Rashad Bateman is a bigger part of that offense. So I think Rashad Bateman, if I were to guess like one player completely turns it around, I think Rashad Bateman has like close to 1,000 yards this year. I think he's going to be like a steal. What? He's like wide receiver 70 something right now in underdog and in ADP. I think Rashad Bateman's going to be a steal. Thoughts on the team so far? 14-team drafts are tough. I honestly don't want to do any ratings right now in 14-team because at the top of the draft, it's all the same. We all have good talent right now. How you win in 14-team leagues is later in the drafts. So that's how I judge teams by like depth. So if we all have strong starts, similar starts, right? It's a matter of like, how do you fill your team out and how do you like bulletproof yourself for a championship run? Do you give yourself enough ceiling? Do you have enough floor? Have you balanced that out? Are injuries a lot on do you have a lot of injuries? Did you double up on some positions? There could be good starts to drafts and terrible finishes. So there's no point in me rating the teams right now. And like I do, like most of my ratings are between 7 and 9. Most of the teams are 7 and 9 out of 10. Like you're going to have a pretty good team after the draft. So the only reason it would be under a 7 or maybe over a 9 is A, if one player was just drafting terribly, that would be the only way. Or B, it was an auction draft. That's it. Auction draft. Haven't seen anything, but strongly believe it. You could tell Jalen stopped running and looked slower late in the season trying to hide it. Yeah, he didn't look right. You're actually right about it. He didn't look the same last season. It wouldn't shock me if you're right. This fall, I'm going to hit my 1-year anniversary. Let's get it, baby. Okay, bro. I appreciate y'all, man. Okay, you've been around a lot longer than just that. A lot longer than just this 1 year. Guy's tough, though. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is tough. This is weird because I know where players fall and where. Yeah, but see, 14-team is different. 14-team, it's a good practice, like to kind of assess yourself and your talent level too. Like, where can you dig deep in your bag? Because, like I said, later is really where there's going to be like the winners of this draft. It's who do you get later? Who do you get later? All right, let's see what we're working with. So I got 2 backs already. We're going to get we're going to get Terry right now. Reach on receiver a little bit. I was hoping T. Higgins would make it back to me, but my boy Trey picked him up. I see you over there. I went with, oh my God, I keep drafting the same team, bro. God damn. I didn't even realize it. I keep drafting the same damn team. In stream right now, Rashad Bateman is worse than anything. Rashad Bateman, I'm gonna pick Rashad Bateman if I can in this draft, unless somebody reaches on him. But Rashad Bateman, bro, he'll be back. I've been around you since your first year of streaming. I'm talking, no, you ain't been around since my first year, since NBA stuff, when I was doing Just Hoop Talk. That was my first year of streaming. Just Hoop Talk. If you've been around since then, you're a real one. I don't know, Cade. You was around. Yeah, you were. You were around my first fantasy football year when I started talking NBA, because we started talking NBA from what I remember, if I'm remembering correctly. Would you be willing to draft Jonathan Taylor and Marvin Harrison at their current prices? So Marvin Harrison, absolutely not. I think there's too many other receivers that go around his territory that are good. Like you're looking at in this draft, Ayuk, Diggs. I just think you're paying for like that type of production when we haven't seen it. And there's no need to. You can get that production. Like if Marvin Harrison had a 1,200, 1,300 yard year, you're going to be like, oh shit, he was great this year. Marvin Harrison was potential rookie of the year. He had 80 catches, 1,300 yards, and 7 touchdowns. You'd be like, damn, bro, like that's a phenomenal year for Marvin Harrison. And then I look at Brandon Ayuk and I'm like, he's right there. You know what I'm saying? DJ Moore had that, you know what I'm saying? Like you're paying for like the ceiling, I think. Unless Marvin Harrison just comes out and he has a crazy year, 15, 1,600 yards, why are you going to draft him right there? There's no point. And then Jonathan Taylor, I love Jonathan Taylor at a draft spot right now. We've seen him be the RB1 before, and we know he's going to get a lot of volume. So it's just about staying healthy for him. I think the offense is going to be great for him. Shane Steichen will have him running the ball really well with Anthony Richardson. I have no problem with Jonathan Taylor as like RB4, 5, 6, somewhere in that range. Thoughts on a Kelce regression, still TD Magnet. So here's what I think about the Kelce regression. I think he's still a good player, but obviously he's 35 years old right now. We talk about father time with like running backs. Tight ends always fall off after the age of 34. I don't think he falls off this season, but the dominance and reason why you drafted Travis Kelce isn't there anymore. You have Sam Laporta, you have Trey McBride, you have Mark Andrews, you have potential with like a Kyle Pitts, you have David Njoku and Evan Ingram, who were both top 5 tight ends last year. Like there's just so much depth at the position that you really don't need to like stretch for Kelce. And that's what's happened over the years. Kelce was always taken in the first round, so it made all the rest of the tight ends go earlier than they should. Everybody felt like, oh, I got to go get a tight end. I got to go get a tight end. And it's like Kelce was the outlier. You draft the outlier early. Like I would have loved to draft Kelce in the first 2 rounds when he was getting 100 catches. There ain't really no tight ends that are going to be doing that this season. You know, you got Dalton Kincaid, like there's Jake Ferguson. There's potential even at the tight end position later on. So I just don't see a need to when the tight end position is so tight and there's options like across the board. If I said any one of those guys was tight end 1, it wouldn't shock anybody. So I don't know. That's why I don't really see the appeal with Travis Kelce. In a 14-team league, though, it might be wise to draft a tight end a little bit earlier than like a 10-team or 8-team or maybe in a 12-team because it thins out a little bit quicker. I'll say that. But I don't know. 3rd round, a little early, but I see why he probably was anticipating like maybe tight ends were going to start going in the next round. I got you. You could tell the skill of the draft where Roman neighbors go. Yes, because when I was doing the mocks without you guys, I was just doing some for content purposes. It was like, why the hell are Roman neighbors going so damn early, bro? It was crazy. It was crazy, bro. ADP is way too high. Yes, their ADP is high, but it's like that on have you done an underdog draft yet? Maybe I'll do an underdog draft on stream too pretty soon. But I did an underdog draft and I'm like, bro, ADP is crazy. Devin Achane right now is the RB7. Marvin Harrison is like the wide receiver 8. A lot of the rookies are going really high. Obviously, it's best ball and it's half point PPR, so the rules are different, but that ADP a lot of times carries over. The same thing happened with Calvin Ridley last year. His ADP was like top 12 receiver, and that carried over into redraft season. So, yeah, ADP, man. Watch ADP. Watch ADP. All right, serious about hitting up McAfee's social media team. Let's do it. Y'all both are real. We'll fit in with them. 5-10 minute segment via Zoom. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, if you send it off, I'm down to do whatever segment, bro. If you get us linked up, man, I'll be forever grateful. I'll find something special to do for you, bro, since you're going out of your way to do that. But it would be dope. He's a cool dude, man. McAfee. I watch his show sometimes. I know, obviously, like I said, he used to work at FanDuel. When I worked at FanDuel, he came in right after me, so we were like almost co-workers for a little bit of time. But yeah, McAfee's dope. Honestly, I'm a firm believer in Stephon Diggs can be. Oh, it's my turn. It is my turn. Damn. Y'all listen. I see y'all listen to that quarterback slander I had. All right, God when it is. God when it is. God when it is. See y'all listen to that quarterback slander. No quarterbacks have gone so far. We got just Josh Allen. That's crazy. This is like this shit would make like this would be a very competitive league. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and the thing is, when quarterbacks, like when you play like in your home leagues, you're gonna notice like a lot of quarterbacks and tight ends, sometimes defenses or kickers go earlier. All that does is slot down players. So like, if you see Joe Mixon there and now Josh Allen's gone before him, Jalen Hurts is gone, it's like he'll slip down in the draft now. So it's kind of crazy. It's crazy when you draft in like a competitive league versus like a work league or a home league. It looks a lot different. But yes, I believe in Stephon Diggs, and I think he's still the wide receiver one, in my opinion, on that team. Underdog money league this year. Wait, never mind. I won't be in the country. Yeah, probably. I probably won't do a money league, but I'll probably do best ball drafts weekly. If Hollywood stays healthy, finishes top 15, how do you see top 15? There's no way in hell Hollywood Brown finishes as a top 15 receiver unless he has an outlier season. Like Hollywood Brown's only had one season over 800 yards. And what's he going to do? He has to get the touchdowns, right? He's not going to get, 10 touchdowns? He's not going to get 100 catches. So what are you hoping for with Hollywood Brown? Like 1,300, 1,400 yards? That's to be top 15, you got to have a ton of yards because you look at the top 15 guys last year, like there was some heavy production, at the wide receiver position. So if he can't cross, he's only crossed the 1,000-yard marker, I think, one time with Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't see anywhere, and especially with Kelce on the team, like maybe if Kelce went down, but I don't see top 15. Top 15? I don't see it. I don't see it. Do y'all see it? Why the Chris Godwin pick? A little confused. I get you, but to me, he's a solid receiver. We're outside of the top 30 receivers right now, and to me, like that's a solid wide receiver 3 to have on your team. Very consistent. I got some upside at other positions. Like I just feel like Chris Godwin could step into a really nice role with the new offense. He's back in the slot this year, so I kind of like Chris Godwin at his draft spot, especially right now, seeing the receivers that are left. So that's where I'm at with Chris Godwin. I just think this right here after, I got him after Malik Neighbors, Odunze, Christian Kirk, Tank Dell's already gone. I'll take Chris Godwin down here because there ain't a whole lot of receivers left, bro. We talking about Jordan Addison, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice. Like, I'm good. Give me Chris Godwin. He's probably the last like big name that's left. Y'all left Mahomes for me? All right, fuck it. I'll take Mahomes. Fuck it. I'll take Mahomes. Nice pick, A-Rich. I would have took him, but I'll take Mahomes. He's sneaky, but the TD work. I think we'll see more TDs out of him this season. But he's always like a 5 to 6, 7 touchdown guy. So the thing is the receptions with him. In a PPR league, you want the receptions. Going back to the slot, I think we'll see that. I tried UG and I hate it because I'm drafting on Sleeper ESPN. So the ADPs. Oh, underdog. Yeah, it's a little confusing, but it's half point PPR. That's why. Half point. Pacheco's going round 2 on ESPN. Yo, I got it. Maybe we'll do an ESPN draft. We'll see what their rankings look like. We'll try it this year. I think last year we did all sleeper. And maybe we did Yahoo once. But what we'll do Yahoo, we'll do ESPN. We'll start doing some more. We'll do other platforms. Yeah, and best ball, you're right. Best ball is different. Hollywood always has 2 or 3 games, then hurts his heel. Always comes back explosive, though. At 22 season was a really good start. He's injury prone, too. You're right. Injury prone, too. Thoughts on James Cook? I actually have some concerns about James Cook this year. Them getting Ray Davis lets me know they don't want to give him the full workload, which, I think early on he'll have it, but it'll probably become a split backfield by the middle of the year. And he was really, really inconsistent. Even after Joe Brady became the offensive coordinator, he was really inconsistent in the second half. He had that stretch of games where he looked good, and then he died off even in the second half of the year. So I have concerns about James Cook. I think where he finished on the year, he finished his top 8 on the year last year. I can't remember exactly where he finished, but I have concerns about James Cook this year because of where he's going. If he was going a little bit later, maybe, but I'm probably going to be out on James Cook at his ADP. If he slipped a little bit in the drafts, maybe, but like he's going around where Aaron Jones goes. I'd rather have Aaron Jones. Godwin going back to the slot is good for him. Yes, I agree. I was trying to do the same thing. I agree. He was in my queues. For a reference, when you worked at FanDuel, were you doing NFL content? Wanted to know, so when I send my professional emails, need to know what you did for them. So a little background on me, if you just want to know. I worked for FanDuel, did NFL betting and fantasy content for them, basketball too. And then I worked for the sportsbook too, FanDuel Sportsbook. And then I also do my own thing, obviously, Daily Show. I've had it for the last 2.5 years now. I started doing it. So I used to have my own NBA sports agency. I don't do that no more. And then started it, didn't work out. And then I also have worked with Champions Realm, which is a failed app. I've worked with obviously all the companies, like the betting companies for like Fantasy Life, Underdog for stuff on the side. And then I do fantasy basketball with Yahoo. So that's where I do like fantasy basketball content. If you look on their fantasy basketball pages, you'll see videos. I did a podcast with them. So yes, I'll be on camera all the time. I've been on Sports Grid TV. So if you guys have watched Sports Grid on TV, I've been on there plenty of times. I've been on the Yahoo Fantasy Football Show a couple of times. I have worked for Sharp Football Analysis, did content for them last season, was on the Better Sports Network, been on Sirius XM, you name it. All from just starting this shit, man. All from starting this shit. Good question, by the way. Is it too early for fantasy content? Let me know, because I'm been kind of debating if this has been too early. It's too early to do a 14-team draft. This shit's taking hella long. This draft is taking hella long. Y'all stacking up on the positions right now. Stacking up on the positional players. See some of these teams y'all got right now. Caffrey, Nico. That lad McConkey, it's either gonna blow up in my face or we're gonna be looking back on this shit and be like, what the fuck? Like, why are we taking him? This is hilarious. Lad McConkey, bro. That's the one player I'm gonna be. It kind of reminds me. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of reminds me how everybody was excited about Nakua and Tank Dell last year. That's kind of, and I was fading both of those guys pretty heavy. So, Lad McConkey, bro. All right. Kay said, I think you're going too hard too early. You're posting too much this early. It's going to be hard trying to go back to these videos later in the fall. So lucky for you. The reason you guys are getting the insight, because I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all my fan, my extended fam here online. The one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the content I made a little bit more this season. So you might hear something double back if I can use it. But to be honest, I'm going to be on live and I'm going to use this content. Like the live content is going to be used a lot more as my regular content. Y'all see it. So the player values, like I haven't went through like breakout players yet, sleepers. I haven't gone through like rookies that I like a whole lot. I haven't done positional rankings yet. So I thought about that too, because I was like, man, maybe I'm going too hard. But I think I've already done the overviews. You guys will probably know all my thoughts on players. Now it'll just be fine tuning. Instead of me having to deliver like, here's what I think about Anthony Richardson in August or late July. Now you're going to be like, I already know what Justin thinks. He's dealing with a shoulder injury now. Now we got to get up to speed. You feel me? And I could also double back and use the older videos on players that where nothing's changed. So that's where my head was at. Maybe I burn out, but shit, I'm down to try it. All right, how are we looking at tight end? Because I got a feeling it's getting thin there. I still got a couple options I like here. Let's get some depth. I don't see any receivers that I just want to take right now. Running back is always going to get thin. Let's go Trey Benson. Get some upside here. Like it, don't love it. Trying to switch it up. To be honest, who else Herbert going to throw to? Josh Palmer is still on the team. Josh Palmer's a 700, 800-yard receiver. So let's not forget that. And he already has a connection with Justin Herbert. DJ Chark was signed in the offseason. He's decent, not good. Quinn Johnson can improve in the next year. And then you also have and then now you have Ladd McConkey. So it's like you have 4 receivers. Justin Herbert's not throwing for like 4,000 yards. You know what I mean? He's not throwing like I don't see that in his wheelhouse this year. He needed the star power to do that. I don't personally see that. So I think the who's Herbert going to throw to thing is a little overstated because it's also a new offense too. It's not going to be open like it used to be. Stroud value is crazy. Yeah, getting Stroud down here, really good value. Really good value. I hear you with the Herbert thing, but like I just don't see. I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe it's there. Maybe I'm just wrong. Like I've obviously I've been wrong a lot, but I just don't see it. Yeah, you haven't gone through all that, but that's only like a month of content with that. Nah, think about it. We got breakout quarterbacks, breakout running backs, breakout wide receivers, breakout tight end, faded running back, fades at quarterback, fades at tight end, fades at wide receiver. And if I'm not on daily too, like, I also want to be able to kind of pace myself a little bit better. So I could always pull from older content. We have sleepers. We have, player. How would I draft from the 101? How would I draft from the 107? We have how would I do 0 RB? How would I do, like, I could do this shit forever. So I got strategy. I was planning on doing like a little strategy kit too, where I would talk about like fantasy football 101, and then talk about how to draft in an auction league, and like try and do a little strategy kit too. I got to make a draft guide. We got plenty of time, bro. We got what, 2 months, 3 months, 2 months. So maybe it's a little early. I'll give you that, but I'm trying to keep myself going and ahead of the curve this season. No, hey, Unc, but your team looking a little rough. I don't mind this team. Y'all don't like this team? I didn't love the Trey Benson pick. Normally I'd pick an entrenched starter right there, but I saw a couple of guys I would take here in the next 2 rounds. So Barkley, Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, Terry McLaurin, Godwin, Mahomes, Trey Benson. I've drafted better. You're right. 14 team though. 14 team. We'll see what all the teams look like at the end. Thanks. So you got experience in that market arena area, because if that's something that blows up, you got to know the logistics. Yeah, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Curtis. Yes, sir. Figured I'd give a little background for those if it's your first time watching. I got experience doing this shit. You would pick bummy Trey Benson. Keon Coleman, the wide receiver one in Buffalo. Do you like Keon Coleman this year? I like Keon Coleman this year. I don't want to necessarily call him the wide receiver one in Buffalo, because I think that could play out a few different ways. Dalton Kincaid's probably going to be a part. They signed Curtis Samuel, so he's going to be a part of the offense. I really like the upside with Keon Coleman, though, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him like chase the 800 to 1,000-yard range. It would not surprise me at all. If he has to play well. That's the thing, and that's the thing with rookies, is just they carry a lot of risk. So it all depends on his ADP, right? Like down here is very safe to get Keon Coleman. As your third, fourth receiver, yeah, but like if you're probably more as your fourth receiver than your third. If you're counting on him weekly, That'd be where I had the question marks unless it just pans out. Tell you this, y'all got me on stream longer than I planned on today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Y'all got me on stream a little longer than I thought. It was 14. I forgot how long these damn 14 team drafts take. Yes, if you need to hit me on Twitter. Sometimes I get to it, sometimes I don't. Coaching staff changes with pass heavy teams are going to be more relying on the run. I can clip up a couple of them. I talked about them in the team preview. If you skipped over the intro, a lot of times in the intro, I talked about coordinator changes. So like Cliff Kingsbury in Washington. I talked about Tennessee's coaching change. Seattle. Like there's a few teams I could think of that I talked about coordinator changes. So, all right, here we go. Make my pick. I'm the one over here making this thing go long. I'm gonna grab David and John. I'm grabbing Dallas Goedert this time. Dallas got it this time. Dallas got it this time. And I am gonna switch this up too. Right now we're at 60 seconds. We're gonna have to run this thing a little 30 seconds. 30-second clock is now in effect. 30-second clock is now in effect, just so y'all know. Justin never drafts good when I'm next to him. I just drafted good. You just said I drafted good next to you. You deserve, brother, because people don't get this NFL basketball knowledge by Google. You're actually watching and know sports in depth, can break down games. Yo, appreciate you, bro. Yeah, it takes, I would say there's a lot of people that know sports. Being able to condense it down, though, to a nuance level is always tough. And then sometimes I think taking bias out of it is hard for some people, too. Like if you're a fan of a team or you're a fan of players, I try to be unbiased with this, except for my Lakers and my Niners. I got you, Cade. There's a lot of people who know. I think I understand fantasy sports very well. So like the game, there's people that know football better than me. There's people that know basketball. Maybe I won't say better, but like at least at my tier or above. Like I don't know everything about football. I don't know everything about basketball, but I do understand fantasy at a very high level. I would say that. How you feel about Worthy? I talked about Xavier Worthy a lot. I actually drafted him in my Dynasty League with the 105. I think the upside is there for him to have crazy seasons. I don't see it this year, though. Like with Hollywood Brown, with Kelce there, I think he's going to have to earn his role. He'll probably play special teams. I think Xavier Worthy is more of like a year 2, year 3 type of guy. Probably more year 2 than year 3. So could he have Tyreek Hill upside? Maybe, but Tyreek Hill's a special player. So I think Xavier Worthy will be fine. And I think he'll have a lot of upside. It's just, does he ever reach that potential? That's the question mark you have to deal with him. So I think year 1, don't expect much. His season long prop right now sitting at like 700, 800 yards, somewhere in that range. I think that's a little high for him. I think it's probably marked that high just because he's paired with Mahomes, obviously. But yeah, I'm kind of out on redraft, but in Dynasty, I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued. Oh my gosh, that's not better than me. It's because 2 people are autoing. All right. I got you, Cade. I got you. Christian Watson or Deontay Johnson. At the spot, I probably would just take the upside with Christian Watson. This is another one of those that I talked about, right? Like Deontay Johnson's good. You'll have a lot of trouble dropping a Deontay Johnson, though, at his draft spot, right? He'll be your wide receiver 3 or 4. You'll be like, I don't want to drop Deontay Johnson. He's too good to drop. But you don't want to start him because he's like 805, right? So you're going to get 7 points one week, 13 points another, 9 points, 12 points. You're going to be kind of disappointed with him, but you can't do nothing. Nobody will trade for him. You don't want to drop him. Whereas Christian Watson, if he hits, you're like, oh shit, I might have a wide receiver 2 on my hands. And if he misses, you're like, all right, cool. I was planning on picking up somebody on waivers next week. There's plenty of time on waivers. Like people, every single week we get waivers. There's a weekly waiver wire show. So that's why I'm more about like high upside, low, high risk, high reward, especially when it comes to like later on in your draft. Let me just get him now. Just because. So nobody snipes you. I'm just gonna get him right now. It's my wide receiver 4. Just go get him right now. There's the QB run. It always happens, especially in 14-team leagues. 14-team leagues. What do you think about Dan Hurley as the coach? You like or you wanted JJ Redick? No worries. We talk about it all in here, bro. So don't apologize. I like Dan Hurley. Obviously, won at UConn, proven he's a winner. LeBron likes him. Said his offense was creative. I think the JJ dynamic, him being a first-time coach, him being buddy with LeBron, probably would have brought more problems to the organization and put a big spotlight on Redick. Like if he didn't perform, they would have been calling for his head. Same thing as like a Darvin Ham, right? Like calling for Darvin Ham's head. Obviously wasn't prepared for the job. The same thing could happen with JJ Redick if he gets in over his head. So I think he would have been a good coach. It just would have came with so much extra shit. Whereas Dan Hurley's going to be a little bit more under the radar. Still a great coach. Still can, he can live past LeBron as well. Like I feel like Dan Hurley is probably the better hire, to be honest with you. Thoughts on Xavier Legette? Not Xavier Legette. Why can't I think of his name right now? Is it Xavier Legette? Why can't I think of his fucking name right now? Is Xavier Legette? This is Xavier Legette, right? Why? I'm tripping. Am I tripping right now? That's how I know I've been on stream too long. Anyway, Xavier Legette, right? Xavier Legette. I think I think he has good ceiling in the future. Big body receiver, obviously, but you got Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen ahead of you. It's going to be tough. 2 veteran receivers. So I'm sure they'll work him in. They obviously love the kid. That's why they got him. But Mingo's still there. Still got, some other pieces there. I think year one to expect too much will be an issue, but both of those guys have been proven injury prone, Thielen and Deontay Johnson. So the ceiling is there for him. I just think he's more of a project too. I know the team loved him, and that's why they traded up to get him. But for me, I think he's more of like it's a little too crowded there. And we got to see Bryce Young play better too. Like if Bryce Young doesn't play well, nobody's going to play well there. Brock Bowers. All right. I'm going to take Chase Brown right here. Don't love it. I don't like my backup running back situation, but I know one of these will hit. I would have picked Christian Watson, but I want to try to appeal to you. Oh, thank you. I want to go back-to-back. Good draft. I'm gonna be real. This is 14 teams. I'm probably not gonna rank these teams, man. If y'all wait for me to rank them, maybe I'll go through them quick. But one more NBA question. You got Boston at 6 or 7. Can't have Boston winning. I know we can't have Boston winning, but I try to take bias out of opinions. I got Boston in 6. I want Dallas to win, but I got Boston in 6. I know. It sucks. Do I gotta rate these teams, bro? Do I gotta rate the teams? LeBron coming Sixers. Oh my God. Cade. Yeah, Legette. That's what it was. Last pick in the first round. They had last pick in the draft too. Panthers are your team. You've been hurting since the Broncos Super Bowl. RIP Super Cam. I was high on CJ. That QB test made Tepper change his mind. Yeah. CJ Stroud. He was supposed to, like, all indications were that he was going to go there. You're rating them. You can only tap out after 24 hours straight. I'll rate the teams. I'll rate them. Got Boston in 6. Gabe, I think Gabe said I'm spamming rate. Rate the teams. Got sniped with Mike Williams. Where'd he go? That's actually not a bad pick that late. It's not a bad pick that late. He doesn't want to rank them because me and Kate dominated. I haven't looked at any of the other teams, bro. I've been looking at these damn comments, answering questions. I'm going to take a look at these teams, though. I'm going to rate them as they come in. All right. $5 make a holler. Christian McCaffrey, Nico Collins, Michael Pittman, James Conner, Lad McConkey, Khalil Shakir at receiver, James Conner, Zach Moss, Sam Laporta, Tua. You got Adam Thielen down below. And the last pick, to me, this team looks good. Yeah, you got some upside at receiver. I like that. I think this is a good team. This is probably a 7.5. I think it's a 7.5 because I think there's some way better teams than this. It looks decent, though. Like the receiver play at the top, Nico Pittman. your receiver 3 is shaky as hell unless Thielen pans out. Thielen could pan out, and this team would be a lot better. But if you had to start a flex, where you're starting Zach Moss and then like Thielen right now, it's not a bad team. 7.9. 7.9. I changed my stance. Ty Coop got Tyreek Hill, Kupp, Keenan Allen, Pollard, Mostert, Jerome Ford, Gus Edwards, David Njoku, Jared Goff. Yeah, this team is stacked, bro. This is an 8.7. In a 14-team league, this is 8.7. Only thing is your wide receiver 4, but you got good flex options with Ford and Gus. And Gabe Davis might be somewhat of a post-hype sleeper too. CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley, Jameson Williams. You got Kamara, Javonte, Zeke. Yo, this is a solid team too. This is an 8.5 at least. McMillan is your 5. Yeah, this is a good team, bro. Mark's Burner. This is a good team, bro. Ty and Mark's Burner right now, both up there. 8.6 from Mark. Jettas, Jaden Reed, Malik Neighbors, Hollywood Brown. Yeah, Etienne, Achane, and Warren. All anti-Jahan team. Jake Ferguson, Xavier Legette, and Brock Bowers. You did the anti-Jahan formula. It's still not a bad team because I think you got upside with like Neighbors, Hollywood Brown, and Jaden Reed. Running backs are decent. Actually, this isn't a bad team. Even those players I don't like, this is still like a solid 8.2. Even those players I don't like. Let me make my pick real quick before it times out on me. Let's go with Antonio Gibson down here. Oh, shit. Well, I meant to pick Antonio Gibson. Who to pick for me? Caleb? How the fuck can I get off this? There we go. Remove player. Set player. Running back. Sorry, I know it's the last pick, y'all. Don't hate me. Let's resume the draft. Had to get that right for the camera. Resume draft, baby. Resume draft. All right, what team was I on here? I was on team 5. And then he left. Team 5 left, bro. I was just about to get to you, homie. And then you left. Team 5 said, I'm leaving the draft. Jamar Chase, Olave, Debo, Josh Allen. Good start there. Zamir White, Dallo, your running backs. You're going to need to pick one up. But if you were able to find a running back on this team, Bryce, if you're able to find a running back, this team would be elite. Because Zamir White's going to hit. You just need to find one running back, and you have a good framework. I get this team a 7.8. If you find a running back in the season, you're going to be much better off, though. St. Brown, Diggs, Pickens, Montgomery, Eckler, Blake Corum, JSN, Cooks. You got Trey McBride and Luke Musgrave, 2 tight ends. Jaden Daniels, your quarterback. This is good team, has good upside. Running back situation, same thing. You need to hope Eckler hits. I think this is a decent team. I would give it a 8.1. Yeet, man. Yeet. Breece Hall, Najee, and then Vito down at the end. You need running backs. You got Harrison, DK, Tank Dell, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel, Dotson, with CJ Stroud and Mark Andrews. I love the value there with CJ Stroud. Not overly excited about this team, though. This is like a 7.6. 7.6. 7.6. I'm not really feeling this team. Najee down here is great, too. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for. 7.8. You just saw no backup running backs. This is Cade. So you got AJ Brown, Ayuk, Rashee Rice, Tyler Lockett, Joshua Palmer, decent receiver play. Then you got Rashad White, Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb if he hits, Brian Robinson, so you can wait on it. You would absolutely need Tyler Lockett to be a hit this year, which he's expected to take a different role, Cade, because Rashee Rice probably going to be suspended, and then TJ Hawkinson probably going to miss some time too. So it's not a bad team. I think you have some injured players that could hit. This is a solid 8. My team, Saquon, Devontae, Mixon, McLaurin, Godwin, Mahomes, Trey Benson, Chase Brown, Antonio Gibson. I got no backups. My bench is weak as fuck. This is like a 7.9. Dallas Goedert. I think there's some upside here, and it could be better. This is like a 7.9. My bench is weak. I would need my bench to hit. One of those guys on the bench to hit. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jacobs, Pacheco, Cook, Xavier. Whoa, Chris, what are you doing, bro? He did all running backs, then Kyle Pitts and Anthony Richardson, then all receivers, bro. Worthy, Sutton, Johnston, Judy, Mooney. What happened here? What happened to this draft, bro? This is like a 6. Never wait that long in a PPR league on receiver. Never wait that long. I don't know if that was intentional or not, if you're trying it out. Taylor and Kyron with Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, Brian Thomas, Romeo Doubs. You got Roman Wilson down there. So you went with the young guys. You got Hurts, Kincaid, Chuba Hubbard, Tyler Algier. Good backs. I think the receiver play at the 3rd and 4th spot could be a little better, but this team's all right. I sure. I feel like it could have been better though. Could have been a little better. I don't know who went after Brian Thomas there. You got some upside, obviously. Floor with Dobbs. You just don't the ceiling. You need that wide receiver 1 ceiling to be a little better. But you got the receiver. You got the running backs. I'll say. I'll give you like an 8 on this one. 7.98. Machiavellianist Pluminati, Puka, Drake London, Zay Flowers, Keon Coleman, Jacoby Myers, Adonai Mitchell, Malachi Corley, Stevenson, and Spears. You ain't grab no running backs, homie. You ain't grab no backs. You got 2 starters, though, at least. Well, presumed starter for Spears. I think this team is good. Has some upside late. I'll be your running backs. Say something happened to one of your running backs week 1, week 2, week 3, you'd be in a load of hurt there. I see you got the Lamar, Zay Flowers stack. I don't know if that was intentional. There's good upside on this team. This is like a 7.8. And then Garrett Wilson, Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Swift, Singletary. Like the running backs here, where you got them at least. Wide receivers are good. Burrow. This is a safe team. This looks like a playoff team. Not a whole lot of. This is like an 8.3. Good, solid play. I think there were some better teams in here. I can't remember what I rated everybody, but I want to say